everybody, and welcome to the Comics Gate Hour stream. How you guys doing? My name is Brian. I was just playing my buddy Brian Day's music from Elite Fitria. I don't know his band's name. Elite Fitria. And if you want to listen to more of his stuff, just look up Elite Fitria. It's basically ELITEFITREA. That there's no other anything with that name, so it should come right up. Elite Fitria, maybe? I don't know how it's pronounced, but the point is you can look it up, and the music is cool. So it's kind of like Tool, 9 Inch Nails, and Eddie Vedder had a baby. That's what I get out of it, and I think that's fine by me. So I hope you guys are doing all right. I'm trying to finish my work here, and because I got lots to do. And yeah, this is something that right now. So how are you guys doing today? It's Friday. I've been fasting. Fast ends today. The afternoon. But you know, I'm not like super hungry. I'm not super hungry. I was expecting that I would be, but it's really not that bad. I also have a show today. Hopefully it'll be a good time for you guys. Be later on though, in a few hours, with one Matthew Blankensee, who is a California filmmaker. Me talking a little bit about culture, art, things like that, but how it relates to, I mean, we are at HBR, we all are mostly, we're artists, right? So we know that there's an important let's say relationship between you know, freedom of expression, men's issues, and the arts. So gotta can't talk about one without talking about the other, is what I'm saying. It's kind of hard. All right. Today is Friday the 13th. That's right. Kind of want to watch a scary movie today. Not the Friday the 13th movies. I mean, I love those movies. Don't get me wrong. I just I've been wanting to watch It, the remake, the first one. I think it's free to watch on my Amazon Prime. And I'm wondering, if it's any good. I heard it was really good, though. So I'm kind of curious. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be very good, but apparently I was wrong. It in fact is good. From what I've heard, anyway. What about Zoe Quinn's memories? No, thanks. The first chapter is totally worth seeing. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Did you watch the Dem debate? No. I watched Steven Crowder's show where he sort of like watched the Dem debates, but that's not really watching the Dem debates, right? Because, you know, he's like talking over most of it. But I did see some highlights a little while ago on like MSNBC or CNN. I think it was MSNBC though. They did a little highlight thing, and of course they were talking them up, which is fine. I'd rather get it from their perspective because I'm curious about what it is they value, and I think it's important to watch you know, like left-wing content. I mean, we talk about feminism a lot on the show because you kind of have to if you're going to challenge the paradigm, but you have to know, you know, what it is they're talking about. You know, it's like, got to know what their talking points are. So according to MSNBC anyway, apparently Elizabeth Warren is the winner of the debate, is what they're saying. But there was some good gets by, that was that new woman that I never seen before, that you know, kind of had some choice words for Bernie Sanders. I noticed that Tulsi wasn't even there. Is she just out now? Is she just like dead in the water? Chief running mouth. Biden looked like a damn skinwalker. A lot of yelling in Spanish. I'd rather watch John Carpenter's The Thing. Dude, that's a great fucking movie. I've seen it many times. I've seen it many times. I need to get like the Blu-ray. I think there's a Blu-ray version of The Thing that's really supposed to be good. I gotta buy that. Anyway, so basically what you get is you got Joe Biden trying to figure out, you know, where he is and what year it is, and he mentioned something about like using record players to stimulate kids in it. He was like, turn the record player on. I'm like, record player? Who the hell has a record player? Who even had a record player when he was vice president? Like, that was weird. I was like, but they didn't even have record players when you were vice president. People were using, like, you know, MP3s and shit. That was just so funny. He's like, I don't know, man. That guy's really out of touch. Just like, turn on the phonograph. Like, he may as well have said that, right? Have those kids sit around the old radio and listen to some Shadow reruns. The old Shadow serials. Record player. That's so funky. They get sold more often than hi-fi rack CD players nowadays. No, I know that the record players come back, but I don't think that that's what he was talking about. Biden's really out there now. I was watching a video from someone on YouTube who was talking about the medical issues Biden had in the past. Yeah, dude, his eyeball was literally bleeding. He was like, I mean, the guy is kind of a mess. That's what I'm saying. He's kind of a mess. Alex Jones might be onto something when he said that these people are demons. Who knows, right? Who knows? But yeah, it's basically Joe Biden trying to figure out where the fuck he is. Bernie Sanders and Andrew Yang competing for Gibbs, because Andrew Yang is like, I'm gonna do something it's never been done before. I'm gonna give 10 families $1,000 a month. And I'm like, but why? Like, but why though? That link, that's good. Um, and Elizabeth Warren is just like trying to give everybody free health care. It's still the same shit, you know? And they actually spent more time digging on Obama than they did on Trump in this one, I think. Because, I mean, obviously they had to get their orange man bads in, but it seemed a little bit more Obama-faced. There was a guy, what was his name? Castro? No relation, I hope. Who was, like, he was calling Biden on some shit. Like, Biden had said something about having to buy into a healthcare system. They were talking about healthcare. And then like 2 minutes later, he said you won't have to buy into it. And the guy called him on it. He was like, no, you said 2 minutes ago you said that. Don't you remember what you said 2 minutes ago? Oh, man. That hurt. And of course, they accused him of trying to take credit for Obama's successes. Which, I mean, like, I don't know that Biden was not involved at all with anything Obama did. I mean, he was his vice, right? But I think he's definitely trying to ride that. And the problem is that the voting base that you're trying to appeal to hates you because you're a white man. So trying to take credit for a black man's work, even if you deserve it, not a good look, bro. This is what identity politics gets you. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's now you gotta, like, you know, that's the bed you made. Now you have to lie in it. All right. I'm more concerned about what comes after 2020. I have the bad feeling that the real violence will break out in 2021. Well, if Trump wins, which it looks like he's probably going to, Antifa's really gonna go crazy. And the Democrats are gonna like if they haven't completely lost it already, the last of their sanity is gonna go away. And you know what? Frankly, I don't think there's gonna be a war. I don't think that's gonna happen. But I will say that if the Democrats continue on this trajectory, they may never get elected again unless they succeed at their immigration goals, which is essentially to change the demographics. If they succeed at that, then we may never get rid of them. But if not, I don't know, man. It is scary because essentially it comes down to the American people. They have to we have to come together and under a unified sense of national identity in order to save the country. People at the top of government, they're not going to do it. They're not. It comes down to the people, to us. We have to be able to see through the bullshit. There was literally nobody on stage that was saying anything that was good for us. It was all either bad or completely empty. Most of it was empty, though. Most of it was empty sentiment. Like, what am I going to say that people are going to like? Well, I know. I'll tell people that I don't like racism. I'll tell people that I don't like, the fact that there are poor people that exist, that there's sexism, that there's, and it's just like, none of those things are actually going to help us, dude. We need, real solutions, List of things to do for 2020. Train. Learn to hunt. Plot out where you can get away for safety. Van life. List is not complete. Yeah, I heard about that. Van life thing is kind of appealing, I have to admit. Gotta tell ya. Take up metalworking and make yourself some swords, spear swords, and shield. Maybe. Damn it, pencil. We're at a scary place in this country. Yeah, man, our freedom, our liberty is hangs by a thread, man. To be honest. And it's a shame that we didn't realize it, at least in my case. I didn't realize it until now. It's actually only thanks to the internet that we even know how bad things are. Because normies, they don't know. If they're not, like, you know, involved. That's better. Hello, Lord of Swarm. All right, cool. I need to get a cup of coffee and check on my cat to see if the flea treatment worked on the fleas. I bathed him in this morning and it was a fucking horror show. Damn. Don't let your cat go out at night. Fuck around with those alley cats. Those motherfuckers are infected. They're gross. Or she could have got it from catching mice. I don't know if where you live there's like, you know, rats. We don't have that much of a problem this year. But a couple of years ago, Chicago had a big rat problem. Seems like though we've dealt with it for the most part. And you know, even JoJo got fleas and he wasn't trying to catch rats. I mean, he wanted to, but he's, you know, a dog. He's not very good at it. Just like he just is a trooper when it comes to trying. LMAO Zoe Quinn, best wishes for your kitty. Yeah, really. Hey, Dread Squirrel. When you come into Chicago, you can hang out. I don't know if you like to play video games or you know, D&D or whatever, but oops. Shit, nigga. I mean, I'm like, you know, maybe in when I'm done with this, I gotta finish Englewood, and then I'll probably like try to do some more chill shit. I'm gonna see if I can get Aiden and Micah to play do some online gaming. Maybe Aiden, Micah, and our colorist Sergio. I think that could be cool. Get like the Comics Gate guys on, because it's almost impossible for me to get like Karen and Allison. Karen has no interest in that. I think it'd be really fucking funny, but I can understand why. So I gotta do the next best thing, and I know that Aiden has a game night, like an online streaming game thing that she does. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I have a lot of years of experience of running games. A lot of years. All right. Let's see. I like games. I'm a dungeon master for 30 years. Holy shit. Good God, watching Karen play a video game would be hilarious. Not a video game. I'm talking about like a tabletop D&D game. I wanted to try to get them to do that, but like I don't think that they'd have the patience for it. And I know like Hannah, she's played a lot of D&D. She might actually be like, I wouldn't say a problem player, but she probably would like maybe she would like, I don't know how much fun that would be. I'll just put it that way. I'm not sure. On the fence. But she's almost too experienced, you know? Alright. Hannah would metagame that shit. Yeah, she is, maybe, I don't know. I think that, because, like, that's just a question of not necessarily experience, but one of integrity. Like, if you're a good player can know all the rules, know all the monsters, know everything, and still, you know, shut the fuck up. Like, not ruin it for everybody else or capitalize on it. And I don't think Hannah would do that. I don't think she would. I think that she's got more integrity than that. I always believe Karen's a BDSM dungeon master. Oh my god, and fuck is all you would hear from her. Yeah, probably. Allison would yell at her dice so much. Well, we probably do it online and use like a automatic rolling thing. Maybe the only way I could do it, if I did it with the Badgers, right? If I ran a game with the Badgers, the only way I could do it is if I created pre-generated characters and I assigned them to people based on their personalities. And I just said, this is what you have to play. Because like Hannah told me about some game where she's playing like she played or is playing like a pixie or something, and that's not a normal starting character class, right? But someone with a lot of years experience could do that, but I don't want to do that. I want to like be like, okay, you know, Allison, you're gonna be this class and this race and this whatever. Maybe they'll all be female, whatever. It doesn't matter. But you know, I'll assign them. That's the only way. It's the only way. That way I can make Karen, she has to play a barbarian because she's the Rent Zerker. So I think that just makes sense. And that's the only way that's going to work. Besides, it'd be easy for her to play one, right? So pixies are OP as fuck. Polymorph is pretty broken. Yeah, well, you know, that's... Again, I'm not trying to say that that's... You just have to be careful with that. That's all. You have to be careful. Gonna make this bigger, but move it to right source. That's what I want to do. Right. And now I will rasterize. Allison is already a dwarf. Yeah, there you go. Allison, the dwarven. Let me see. What is she? She's an artist. She's definitely like a pushy. So maybe a dwarven, and maybe I don't know. What are the War Master? I think it's called, or the Battle Master. It's like a commander type figure. That's what I would do. So Karen the Barbarian, Allison the War Master. Hannah would be the maybe sorry, hold on. Let's try this another way. I hope my lines are all closed. We'll go to, what is this? Select it from the outside. Oh, I'm not gonna. Actually, it did. And then we'll invert it. And I'll go to this layer and remove that. There you go. I would probably head to Chicago next Monday. Hit me up on Twitter if you get a chance. Okay. She'd be a dwarf barbarian and yell insults. Normies are incapable of resisting the winds of change, and non-normies are the first to lash out. What do you think school shootings are? Yeah. Oh, no drunken master monk. For Karen's a barbarian. Allison's gonna be a war master, so we have two fighters, right? Hannah is going to be a cleric, I guess, because you need a healer. And if I can get Prim to be a part of it, because I know Prim likes to play too, I can get Prim to be a part of it, and she can be the mage, and Dr. Random Cam will be the bard, and then I'll just run it. There you go. That's perfect, isn't it? Mike's gonna be the drunken master monk. No, he's the bard. He's the bard. Prim's a lich. Yeah, you're right. There she goes. Make her a mage necromancer. Who's the glass cannon? Well, that's what the no, that's a balanced group. That's a balanced group. They're ready to go. All right, so let's see. I'm going to close the lines on Elijah just so that I can. Where is Elijah? Here. I'm gonna close the lines on him just so that I can draw. I can use the and then I'll erase them afterwards. Yeah. So let's see. Put this. The outside. Work, please work. I think it did. Oh, I know why. Pencil. All right. Don't understand why that works that way, but whatever. Like, whatever. All right, perfect. Now I will invert the selection. Go over here. Delete it. Deselect. Back to the pencil. Come back to this layer. This one, yep. And go down here and move that. All right. So now that panel's done, finally, fuck. And now let me see what you guys are saying. Prim is pretty glassy. You need a healer. I said that Hannah will be the cleric. Cleric or paladin. No, paladins aren't great healers. They're just okay. The kick now looks way more realistic. Thank you, Michael. What about Mike J? Well, I don't want the party to be too big, but like if Prim can't make it, then Mike J will take his place or take her place. So, I mean, I could just make Mike J because he's actually on more often than Prim. So, I just figure, yeah, Mike J he could be on and he could be like the glass cannon. So, Mike would be bard and sing bawdy ballads. Yep. Silent mercenary, maybe. Lewd limericks, Hannah and the shield. Like I said, I don't know anything about D&D. What class would I have to be to punch things? Monks, if you want to do it barehanded. If you're just talking about hurting things, then like there's a ton of classes for that. Chris Raygun is the jester. That's not a class. Your hair is snakes and your gaze. Soy boys, it wakes. Huh? All right. Anyway, let's see if I can't knock out this last panel, which should be a lot easier than the other one. Because I already had it figured out and shit. I'm going to get a quick refill of coffee, and I'll be right back. Alright, I've returned. So anyway, I don't know if that's like practical, as I was saying, because it's just hard. It's like herding cats, right? And we probably wouldn't get anything done. It would take forever. I have to teach them the rules, and it's just it's just not. You just can't do it. So maybe maybe it just makes more sense to run it for people who, run a game for people who are like more likely to show up and that have an interest in it. Besides, I don't want to make anyone do something they're not interested in. And Allison's spurring out on something else right now. So there's just like a lot of factors. So maybe one day, but I don't see it right now. So there's this thing I've been dying to try, a couple things that I've been dying to try to game. And I think that Micah, once we're done with Englewood and it's out, we fulfilled our goals, I think that it could be cool to try out a couple games that I have. So one is I have a couple things, so I guess it comes down to what people want to try. One is the new Cyberpunk. So we all know the Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out. And of course, Artalsorian Games, people who made the original Cyberpunk pen and paper game, they are making a new edition called Cyberpunk Red. And I have the basic, the kind of starter set for it, the starter package, I guess you could say, in PDF form. And it comes with enough rules to give you a sense of what the game is going to be like, including pre-made characters, an adventure, some maps, and cheat sheets. It's actually pretty cool, right? Cyberpunk is post-gender. I want the full version. I used to love Cyberpunk, so it's the second game I ever ran. And the second game I ever played, by that matter. I've never gotten to play Cyberpunk as a player, only as a GM. But when I first found tabletop gaming, the first game I played was, of course, D&D, which is the first game that most people play. And I wanted to try something else. But what I wanted was something completely different from D&D. So a lot of people were saying, well, you should play Shadowrun, which is basically Cyberpunk, but with magic and elves and dwarves, and, it's got fantasy elements and tech, right? And I'm like, no, I don't want that. That's not what I'm after, because that still has... I'm not saying I hate Shadowrun, but it's not what I wanted. I wanted something that was gritty, completely different. If I'm going to go sci-fi, I'm going to go all the way. I'm not going to go half-ass. Sci-fi with elves, It's Star Trek, anyway. So I decided to run Cyberpunk, and I ran a campaign that went for 3 years. And it was the first campaign I ever finished. Did I finish that? I think I did. Because most of the time, these things never really get finished. A lot of times they don't, with some exceptions. So I'm a big fan of Cyberpunk. And I just, there are issues with the system, the old one. But, I mean, assuming they ever address them, I was like, yeah, I'll play that shit again, So yeah, I was big fan of it, and now that there's a new one coming out, I'm super excited. Because I think that it's, it's a pretty cool game. My last Cyberpunk character was a sniper/doctor. The world is so much darker when the baddies are other humans. Chaotic good. Start a tax riot so the local orphans can steal food from the market. I bet a lot of Antifa people think that they're chaotic good. Oh shit, it's saving. Yeah, I bet they do. That's the thing that's weird, is that like when Republicans are in political power or have political influence or whatever, the left believes they actually like that in a way. They romanticize it, if that makes sense. I don't know if that, you know what I'm saying? Because it lets them be the underdog, and that's like their favorite. It's weird though, because they want to be in power, but they also want to be the underdog. This is why feminism rationalizes that, where they're like, you know, they're the victims, but they also have power, but it's never enough because they're always the underdog. I'm afraid I have to wrap it up in like 10 minutes. They want to be tops, but they love being bottoms. SJWs claim that Captain America would have supported Antifa, clearly showing they don't know anything about the character. That's only because they know that, you know, Captain America killed Nazis and punched them because they saw the cover of the fucking book where he punches Hitler, and they thought, oh, that's Captain America, basically. And it's like, yeah, he is. He would probably punch a socialist. But Captain America's enemies also included commies because, you know, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby knew that communists were dangerous too. And really, there's not much of a big difference between the two anyway. I think the MCU, up to and including Civil War, got Captain America right. Dear God, I almost said Captain Marvel. They did up to Civil War. They had Captain America very right. Up to Civil War. And then they dropped the ball. Actually, you know that, like, a lot of, like, SJWs hated the representation of Captain America in both Winter Soldier and Civil War. They did not like that, especially Civil War. I remember there was an article saying, he's some kind of libertarian asshole now. Grr. And then they started changing Captain America, the way that they wrote him. Imagine fucking that. I like that he was like, kind of, you know, incorruptible. If that makes sense. He was like wholesome as fuck. I like that about him, but they changed him, and I knew they were going to, honestly. I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna last. Once they figure out that, like, you know, he's essentially like, he essentially represents pretty, like, right-wing ideas. I mean, he was even, like, religious, and then they kind of, like, stopped bringing that up as a thing, you know? And it's like, yeah, but that's what he is, though. I mean, he is, like, there weren't a lot of atheists in the fucking 40s. You know? That's like when what was that game, Kingdom Come Deliverance, came out, and all the characters were like making these like religious statements. People were losing their shit. I'm like, yeah, but that's how it was. It was literally like there were no atheists. Like there were not really anyway. I mean, imagine. That's bad. Right. It was sort of like, reminds me of an old interview I did with a woman named Maria Almasani. Never forget her. I'll never forget her. She was a Miss Universe. She used to be Miss Universe, or she was a Miss Universe nominee or something. She ran for it, or she won it or something. But what I remember is she was really funny. She was explaining, she was Canadian, but she used to live in the Middle East, right? She was from Yemen, I believe. And she was explaining that people who live in third world Middle Eastern countries under Islam, attacking their religion doesn't help, because those people have nothing else to believe in. So when you don't have anything, you cling to religion because it's all you got. It's like basically where you get your sense of purpose from, and it also like keeps you going, right? And I'm inclined to agree. And I'm also, yes, I'm critical of Islam, don't get me wrong, but I think that just attacking the religion in the same way that, like, you know, fedora tipping atheist types do, that's not really going to make any change. It's just so that you can look smarter than everybody else. But that's literally, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do any good, right? And you're like attacking people, poor people, in a way, right? So if you want to change that, that's not how you do it. So I think of it in the same way that in the old days, before industrialization, there was probably a lot more religious people as well, right? Because like, what else did you have? There was no TV, there were no video games, there was no, you know, there wasn't even like, there was no way to communicate with people that were a long way from you. So your community was basically whatever you were around. And when you have so little, and of course, you know, back then people probably didn't think that they didn't have that much, because from their perspective, they were fine. They had like their needs met, you know, provided that they worked for them. So if that's like the condition that you're living under, well, then it's no wonder that, you know, religion kind of scratches that itch, right? I feel like I'm gonna get a copyright strike for this one. All right. Time's up. Yep, you're right. All right, let me go back out here. I'm gonna save where I'm at so far. Save it. Can't wait to tease Hambly about this Sweaty Balls and Manscaped products. I'm sorry, what? All right, I'm gonna move on out of here. Thank you for listening to my rambles, but I do have to go. I have to take the dog for a walk, and then I have to set up the show for later on the main channel. And then I guess I have to prepare this conversation. So thanks guys for coming on the Comicsgate art stream. I'm gonna try and finish this page over the weekend and start page 10. I'm probably, because I don't want to give too much away, so I'm probably gonna stop doing this book on streams. I don't know yet though. I'm gonna talk to Micah today, see what he wants to do. I really don't think I should be showing everything because it kind of defeats the purpose of reading the book, in my opinion. So but if you guys like this video, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and hit the bell for notifications. Also leave me a comment, let me know what you think about all this stuff, and thank you for, you know, hanging out while I rambled about shit. Let me just look at your comments one last time, address them, and then I'll sign out. So okay, let's see. Can't wait. I already read that part. Brian Martinez, please say Jojo a hi from Switzerland. Jojo, Switzerland says hello. All right. He's been covering the Zoe Quinn pretty heavily. Yeah. I talked about Zoe Quinn stuff, and like, I don't want to keep talking about her, but it keeps coming up, and I think that you can't ignore it just because, you know, you find her to be cringe or whatever. So you got to keep talking about Zoe Quinn. I don't know what to tell you, you know. All right. Anyway, so with that said, I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks guys for coming on, and I will talk to you later. Have a good one, everybody.